Hey all, today we have an interview with Kendall Bharath, a real estate agent from REMAX Kyoei up in Hokkaido, Japan. In the episode, we discuss the snowy upper region of Japan, specifically asking about snow in the area for skiing and snowboarding. We then take a super deep dive into closing costs, specifically analyzing one 10K condo in Asahikawa. Unfortunately, since recording, this condo has now sold, but we have linked another one in the show notes. Also, please stick around till the very end where Kendall adds a closing cost he actually missed. Hope you enjoy the episode. It's definitely an informative one. Excited today. We have a guest on the line. Joey, who we got?
We have Kendall Bharath. Sorry, I hope I said your last name correctly.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Real estate agent based up in Asahikawa, Hokkaido. Kendall, would you like to maybe give us a little bit of an introduction for yourself?
Who are you, Kendall?
Hello, good morning. Thanks very much for having me on. So yeah, my name is Kendall Bharath. So you nailed the pronunciation, Joey.
Oh, nice.
And I'm a real estate agent with REMAX Kyoei, which is part of REMAX Hokkaido. And the office is up here in Asahikawa. We also have a branch in Sapporo. So we do business all around Hokkaido. And we have some agents that are like scattered around places like BA, Obihiro. If anyone listening has heard of these places, well, good for you. You're a Hokkaido master.
Hey, Kendall, where are you originally from?
So I'm from Canada, specifically a small town in Eastern Ontario.
Okay.
And I moved to Japan about 10 years ago. I started off as an ALT, which is a kind of English teacher here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did that for about 7, 8 years before making the change to real estate.
That was up in Hokkaido as well? Like, why?
Yes.
How did you get 10 years in Hokkaido under your belt?
So for the whole time, it has been in Hokkaido.
Why
First,
Hokkaido?
most of these English teaching gigs, you get sent somewhere against your will.
Oh no. Okay.
So I was in a little fishing town, population 6,000.
6,000?
6,000, yeah.
Jeez. Okay.
And yeah, mostly fishing. There are also some farms, but very little in the way of industry or.
Was there like a restaurant?
Oh yeah, those are
Restaurants.
the good thing about Japan is they love to eat.
Yep.
So there's restaurants everywhere. Places, fishing towns like where I was placed. Of course, the restaurants they push are the seafood specialty restaurants. So there was one really nice sushi restaurant
Okay.
in my town. It was very good and also surprisingly expensive considering it was just a small town. Like a full dinner there would cost like a mon.
Okay.
Okay.
So
That's expensive.
pretty high for
$70 for anyone listening in US dollars.
Yeah, that's pretty high for a rural sushi restaurant.
Right. Must have been bomb though.
It was good. It was really good.
Kendall, what kept you in Hokkaido after? Was it real estate? What? Yeah, you could be anywhere in Japan or anywhere in the world, but why Asahikawa?
I think most people who come to Japan already were interested in Japan. There's not very many people like, oh, I wonder what this Japan thing is all about.
Mm-hmm.
No, people already liked Japan and that's why they came.
Mm-hmm.
And then those people also, your local area really grows on you. Joey, I know you spent a lot of time high school and university in Shizuoka.
High school Shizuoka and then university was Tokyo.
Okay. But yeah, and you really love Shizuoka, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I do. We were looking at some other houses there not too long ago, actually.
Yeah, so your local area really does grow on you.
Yeah.
You make
Very
friends,
true.
you get integrated into the community. So there's that aspect. But also, Hokkaido is great. It is really special. If you love snow.
Okay, there it is.
It snows here like nowhere else I've ever been in the world.
Yeah, and this guy's Canadian, Ontario.
Both the frequency, the depth, and the quality of snow are astounding.
Wow.
Okay.
I don't know how much I should. I don't know how much
You want
I
to keep
should
it a
wax
secret a little
poetic
bit.
Yeah.
on snow, but it's great. Skiing, snowboarding, both are very popular here in Hokkaido. I do both, but I stick 90% of the time on snowboard.
Okay, let's go.
Honestly, I'm not that good at skiing.
Yeah. Kendall, I'm curious for the viewers and listeners, most people know Niseko. I think if you think Hokkaido, how far away are you or just proximity wise, where is Asahikawa comparatively to Hokkaido or Niseko and Sapporo?
So Niseko is on the western sort of squiggly peninsula
Hmm.
of Hokkaido. And Niseko is about 2 hours drive from
Okay.
Sapporo, which is the main city of Hokkaido. Now, Asahikawa is 2 hours again further to the north.
Okay.
So if I were to drive to Niseko, it'd be about 4 hours. If I were to drive to Sapporo, it'd be about 2 hours. They call it North Hokkaido, but it's really pretty center Hokkaido.
Okay.
It's an inland city, no access to water. Instead of that, really good access to mountains.
Kendall, jumping into a little bit of quick real estate question. We get a lot of people from warm countries like Singapore, Philippines, interested in Hokkaido specifically because of the cool climate. But you mentioned the snow is like nothing you've ever had to deal with. Potentially, are people biting off a little more than they can chew with a remote Hokkaido property?
It's hard to say. I can't really put myself in the mindset of someone who hasn't grown up with snow because
Hey,
yeah,
Californian.
my entire life it's just been part of what you do. Like in summer, you mow the lawn, and in winter, you shovel.
Never shoveled snow in my life. We have a lot of Filipinos actually that ask they want to move to Hokkaido for the snow, and obviously they don't have too much snow in the Philippines. Would you, Joey's point, would you like say maybe this isn't a good idea, or people just take the jump?
Especially a remote property.
Yeah, remote.
I would say it is very likely that someone does bite off more than they can chew.
Okay.
Like when it comes to property management in Hokkaido,
Hmm.
it's basically just a war with all the things that property managers deal with here are like snow related. The basic just clearing snow
Yeah.
so your car can pass,
Okay.
and clearing access to your house so you can actually walk in. So that's like the everyday thing. But then
Okay.
on top of that, you have to clear snow off of your roof,
Yep.
make sure that you don't get crushed.
Yep.
And if you leave snow there for too long, it starts making weird shapes and overhangs. And on a single story building, it's not so bad. But on a 2-story building or 3-story building, these overhangs can be dangerous and lethal.
I see.
Okay.
If you
Literally
don't,
biting off more than you can chew here.
yeah. If it falls and someone's standing underneath, like we're talking definite hospital visit.
Okay. If you're listening, be warned. Snow is no joke for us soft Californians or warm climate folks who have never dealt with snow. Kendall's spot is awesome, but it seems like there's also some risks. Kendall, actually, question for you. I know people are going to be thinking this. Do you have the same quality snow or mountains as Niseko? Would you put Asahikawa in that same category as or is Niseko like different or better for some reason?
Personally, I would.
Okay.
I said before, but snow quality here is amazing. Now,
Okay.
Niseko and the Niseko area, it is one of the special parts of the island. It is a pocket, a region of snow that just sees constant storms
Hmm.
and even just slow accumulation. They get both. So they
Okay.
get like a little bit of snow like every day, and they get big storms that
Mm.
throw like 20, 30, 40, 50 centimeters at a time.
Got it.
That's 20 inches for the imperial listeners.
Yeah.
So would you say Asahikawa gets that same geographic location? Is it similar or how is it different from like snowfall perspective?
So Asahikawa does get consistent snow, like
Mhm.
lots of days with a small amount of snow. Now, for small, I say 5 to 10 centimeters,
Okay.
3 to 5 inches.
Okay. It's more than I've ever had
Um,
anywhere.
but the quality is very good. I
Okay.
would I would say the quality is equal to Mythicos. If you're too close to the ocean,
Hmm.
the snow gets really thick and heavy,
Hmm.
but never moved away further from that. So snow here is nice and dry and airy.
Okay. Kendall, we really brought you here today because we wanted your real estate agent opinion specifically to ask about closing costs. So Joey and I, we've talked to 100 plus people. They're looking at this $30,000 cheap Akia. What's the catch? How much is it going to cost to close? We have our numbers, but wanted to get a quick pulse from you. Actually, before going into it, Joey, do you mind giving the details for our house down in Beppu and what those closing costs look like?
Sure. Our closing costs came to 11% of the purchase price. So our house was about 600 man, so 6 million yen, and then closing costs were about 11% of that. And some of the breakdown of those costs were a little bit of property tax, stamp duty, registration fees, and then the fee paid to NTI, who helped us purchase the house. Does that 11%, Kendall? Is that in the right ballpark?
Yeah, 11%. That is the ballpark that we're dealing with. I
Mhm.
should start off with a disclaimer
Yep.
and say that if you show me a property listed for, let's say, 6 million yen, and ask
Mhm.
me, oh, what are the closing costs going to be? The best thing that I can say, the most accurate thing I can say is, I don't know,
Got it.
because there are so many things that I don't know about the property,
Mhm.
and so many things that could even change depending on when you sign the contract and what happens with the
Mhm.
tax situation. So the real answer is I don't know.
What are some
And
of the, sorry,
the
keep going.
and the closer or the more accurate number I give, the more sure I will know that it's not correct.
Oh no. Okay.
Like, what is it? Heisenberg
Yes,
uncertainty
yes,
principle.
exactly. The uncertainty principle. A nice organic chemistry reference.
Okay.
Yeah, the more precise number I give, the more I know that it won't be right.
From a percentage perspective, what has been like the highest and what has been the lowest, if you don't mind, like rough? Have you seen something 100% of the closing cost for a
Oh,
$1,000 Akia or something like that?
we do not deal with
Has been-
properties such a
Yeah.
low price. $1,000 is lower than anything I've seen
Okay.
at this office. Right now, the lowest property we have listed, I think, is $10,000.
Okay.
And I should be very candid and say it's very unlikely that it will sell in the future as well.
Okay. What?
These properties sit, these cheap properties, they
Yeah.
sit for a long time.
Okay. Our ears are perking up here. And I think people who are listening, their ears are perking up. We just sold them on how awesome the snow is in Asahikawa. And we've given them the disclaimer that the snow is crazy in a potential hard way. But tell us a little bit about this $10,000 property and what would you say the rough closing cost would be?
Okay, so this $10,000 property is a single room in a building downtown.
Okay. Sounds appealing.
And that's the first reason why it's cheap, single room. It's
Okay.
quite an old building, which
Is it a
Japanese
studio
customers,
or one bedroom? When you say single room,
if memory serves, it is a single room.
okay. Like a
Just
studio.
yeah,
Studio, yeah.
studio, just one
Got it.
big room with a little kitchenette.
Okay.
The building itself is old, which
That's okay.
Japanese customers do not like.
All right. How old is old?
Oh, I would have to check
Okay.
the details, but let's say 70s, built in
Okay.
the 70s, so about 50 years old for the building.
Our house is 50 years old in Beppu, just for a comparison point. So we're not out yet, Kendall. What else has it got going for it? Or
Going against it. So these, I'll call them condominiums. The shared buildings
Mhm.
always come with monthly fees
Okay.
for the repair fund and maintenance.
Okay.
Now, these buildings also get stuck in a spiral of it being old, no one wants to live in them. They
Mhm.
move out. The
Mhm.
building still needs to be maintained.
Okay.
Monthly fees go up.
Yep.
And then other people are like, oh, these fees are expensive. I don't want to stick around here. They move out. Oh, we need more money. We got to raise the fees.
Okay. Yes,
So
spark.
relative to its size, because its size is tiny, it's a one room,
Hmm.
its fees are quite high.
Okay.
We're probably only talking like $200 a month.
Okay.
But if you just look at that number, why don't you just buy a cheaper place somewhere else?
Okay.
Because we most markets in Japan do have a glut of supply.
Yeah.
There's hundreds and hundreds of rooms of vacancies in the city. If you're a domestic client looking to buy,
Yeah.
why would you bother in this place that is smaller than average,
Okay.
higher fees than average,
Hmm.
worse quality than average?
Okay.
There's really no reason for someone to move into this
It's
place.
$10,000 though, Kendall. I'm still not unsold. You
I mean,
still
how
have me interested.
how
I
much?
realize I'm being pretty mean about a property that we are
No,
supposed
no,
to be trying to sell.
I'm,
I don't,
I'm selling.
we're excited.
So we're looking at a
Um,
condo
Can
apartment.
we pause
right?
just for a second? I remember I just left my notepad. I left it
Go
out
for it.
at my desk.
Okay.
I'm gonna go get my notepad.
Okay. I like this deal analysis.
Yeah.
It's a
I
good.
mean, continuing the conversation a little bit as Kendall grabs his notepad, like how much would a Niseko Hokkaido ski vacation cost someone coming from America, right?
Totally.
5,000, like $6,000.
All right, Kendall. We're still doing this deal analysis here with you. We got it. So we're looking at $10,000 apartment, downtown studio. The building is old, which is driving up costs, which are about what, $200 a month right now.
Yes.
How big is the place in meters or feet or whatever metric?
If I remember correctly, it's 20 square meters.
20
So, like I said, just
meters.
a single room in square feet. We're talking like 180 or 200, I think.
Okay, that's
200
not
square feet.
it's not bad. And what's the risk of the entire building being torn down or sold? I know that's a concern sometimes for investors.
Okay, that is very hard to say.
Okay.
Market that has a lot of activity and seeing a
Hmm.
lot of redevelopment, I
Hmm.
would say that is pretty high. But we are in Asahikawa, which is
Okay.
a mid-sized Japanese city,
Hmm.
population 320,000 in the city itself, probably 400,000 if you add in the suburban towns that are around it. So
Yeah.
400,000 people living in this city.
Okay. And
There's not a lot of redevelopment activity going on.
okay.
And if you go downtown, you will see a lot of buildings that you're like, does anyone live there?
Hmm.
At night, there's very few lights on, and then in the day, it looks pretty haunted.
Okay, really selling it.
That's twice the size of Beppu, Asahikawa. I didn't realize that.
Um,
Yeah, Asahikawa is it's the main city in the north.
yeah,
In the
Kendall,
north.
I'm thinking about buying this place and having it be my retreat. I want to go. I like to snowboard for the season. Hotels probably add up in costs over time, and I figure I love Asahikawa. From that spot to the slopes, I'm gonna want to snowboard in the winter. How do you get there, or is it like a pain in the butt? Is there a bus that goes from downtown to the slopes, or how would you? Yeah.
Yeah, so the property I'm speaking of, it is located right downtown.
Okay.
I believe it's about 15-minute walk to the station.
Okay. Pretty good. In the snow,
Now,
15-minute walk,
the
or sunny 15-minute walk.
a normal
Okay.
15-minute walk.
Okay. Okay.
The great thing about Asahikawa
Hmm.
is the access that it provides to snowboarding and skiing and all kinds of outdoor adventures.
Hmm.
There are about a half dozen little ski areas
Hmm.
within, let's say, 45-minute drive of
Okay.
Asahikawa. The closest one to downtown is only 15-minute drive from downtown.
Okay.
They also have a shuttle bus. It leaves, I think there's 4 buses per day that
Okay.
go to this closest one. And the bus, I think, takes a bit longer, maybe about 20 minutes.
Okay.
And if memory serves, the bus costs 500 yen, which is $3. So
Yeah, I'm sold. Joey, how are you feeling on this?
Let's hear the closing costs. What do you
Yeah.
expect cost to close on a place like this?
yeah, so
Ballpark
like
if
I
you can, or whatever you can tell us.
So a really good number to ballpark is 10%. If this
Okay.
place is listed at 10,000, I would say 11,000 is a safe bet to go with. But I'd like to offer you.
Okay, here we go.
Let-
Deal or no deal. I'm ready.
So I started off with the disclaimer saying I don't know,
Okay.
but let's walk through what some of these closing costs would be.
Perfect.
And I'll use this cheap $10,000 property as an example, and I'll
Okay.
also provide some reference for a larger, let's say, 10 million. Should we go with 10 million?
Okay. Which is how much in US dollars? Like,
That is 70,000. Yeah, 70,000 US dollars.
okay,
So
cool.
still cheap by American standards,
Yep.
but closer to what the average deal is in Asakikawa.
Okay.
Okay, so the first number I'll go over, which is the biggest number, is the commission you pay to the broker.
Got it.
And this is calculated on a industry standard, government mandated industry standard of 3% plus 60,000 yen plus tax.
Mm-hmm.
So for that $10,000 place, it would be 3% of 10,000, $300,
Okay.
plus 60,000 yen, which is about $400,
Okay.
plus tax on that. So we're only looking at about $770.
Okay.
And that would be about 100,000 yen.
And is that being
So
paid by, so the buyer is paying for does the seller pay, or who pays what commission in this situation? Let's say you're the buyer's agent and I guess you're also the seller's agent, but how does that kind of work in Japan?
yeah, so I should clarify on that. This property, this cheap one downtown,
Mm-hmm.
is a property that we are trying to sell, which means
Understood.
we are acting on behalf of the seller.
Mm-hmm.
If someone approaches us and says, "Oh, that looks good, I'd like to buy it,"
Mm-hmm.
we would also try and act as the buyer's agent.
Okay.
And this
Understood.
in Japan is termed a double-handed deal.
Okay.
Ryote, for
Good
those who
name.
understand Japanese.
Yeah.
It is a double-handed deal. So we've got one hand extended to the seller saying,
Yep.
give us 3%. And
Mm-hmm.
we've got our other hand extended to the buyer saying, give us 3%.
Okay.
And what we're trying to do is get 6%
Got it.
of this property. Now, that might seem shady to a lot of
Mhm.
people listening.
It
Taking money.
happens in the States pretty often too.
Okay. Taking money from both sides. Let me assure you, it is perfectly legal.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not it's something you want to go through with as a buyer is up to you.
Okay.
Personally, I do recommend trying to find a separate agent and avoid this double hand transaction.
Okay.
If you find your own buyer's agent and you say, "Oh, can you please go find that? Can you please go after that property that I was looking at?"
Mm-hmm.
Then they would be part of a single-handed katate transaction.
Got it.
They can only take money from their buyer.
Okay.
And then the seller would be stuck with another single-handed transaction, only taking money from the seller.
Okay. And does the seller pay the seller's agent and the buyer pays the buyer's agent? Is that kind of how it
Yes.
works? Okay.
In the case of this single-handed transaction, each
Mhm.
side is responsible for each agent.
Okay. Got
So
it.
there's no overlap fees. Buyer pays buyer's agent 3%, seller pays seller's agent 3%.
Got it. In the US, there's been a lot done on the buyer side. You probably are aware, Kendall.
Yes.
Is this percent negotiable, or do you think this is going to change in the future? Or, yeah, I know that's going to be a top question people ask.
The short answer to whether it's negotiable is yes.
Okay.
Whether you can negotiate it is a different story altogether.
Yep.
So like I said, this is an industry standard rate.
Mm-hmm.
Every real estate agent in the country knows that and is mandated to follow it.
Mm-hmm.
And that also provides them or destroys their incentive
Mm-hmm.
to try and compete,
Okay.
since they know that if their buyer comes and says, "Oh, I'd like to pay less on this commission," they know that any other agent they deal with would be asking for the same thing.
Okay.
Now, I don't want to say collusion, but I
Mm-hmm.
just did.
Okay. Yep.
It's an industry standard and they're sticking with it.
Okay.
And I do also want to add, I imagine most of the people listening to this will be foreigners.
Yes.
And if I'm being brutally honest, there is already a lack of incentive for
Yeah.
agents to deal with foreign clients.
We've seen this. Yeah.
The paperwork is more confusing. There's
Mhm.
also a communication barrier. They don't act like the clients that real estate agents are used to.
Yep.
So there is a wall between the two. And if you ask, yeah, I am a more difficult client than usual, but can you also take less money to do?
Yep.
Can you take less money to do a harder job,
Yep. Yep.
please?
On a
Okay.
cheap property.
It's a very it's a
Yeah.
very weak negotiating position.
Okay. Speaking of being a cheap American here, so let's say we came to you and we're like, Kendall, we want to buy this apartment. You would be more or less double handing it, right? Could we
Yes.
go, Kendall? Can we lower our buyer's commission because you're double handing it? Is this common, or how would you react to that?
I would say it would run into the same sort of industry standard
Okay.
practice. For some background, like every week at the meeting here in the brokerage,
Okay.
we go through all the sales that we've made in the past week and all the sales we're looking towards in the coming month.
Hmm.
And in the time that I've worked here, I have never seen a commission that's not the standard rate. So
Until
this is
this one, Kendall. Here we go. We're
so this
challenging.
is
Yeah.
this is the momentum, or can
Yeah.
I call it momentum? This is
Understood.
the history we're talking about here. And this is how rare
Okay.
these lowered commissions are.
Got it. Yeah. And
Um, Now, I would say that you do have more bargaining power if it's a two-handed transaction.
mhm.
I would say that, yeah, you do have more sway, more force to put down, but not on a $10,000 property,
Okay.
Yeah.
because we're still only talking about maybe $1,500 for
Yeah. Small
a two-handed
commission.
transaction.
Totally. So commission, yeah, like we're going back to the example, this $10,000 property, just the closing cost alone would, I think you added it up after taxes is close to $700. Is that
Yes.
sounding about right? Okay.
Yeah.
What's the remaining cost in there?
So after that, the biggest cost after that would be a scrivener fee.
Okay.
Now, for those who have been looking around at the Japanese real estate market, you've probably seen the word scrivener a lot
Yep.
and immediately went to Google and said, definition scrivener.
That was our first interview. We got what the hell is a scrivener?
I
And both.
still Google it.
Yep.
And yeah, the word scrivener doesn't help. The word in my mind that I use is special bureaucrat.
Special bureaucrat. And are we talking about, there's two, right? There's a gyosei shoshi and a shiho shoshi, right?
Yeah, the one I am referring to now is shihoshoshi.
Okay. One more time. What do you call it? Special bureaucrat or something?
Bureaucrat. Another way of thinking about it is a property registration lawyer,
Okay. Yep.
but it is a special job
Yep.
that you'd only find in Japan. That's why it's so hard to translate it into English. We don't have the equivalent position in the Western markets, so that's why there's no real good word. But
Okay.
what he does, or she, let me be nice and fair, what this person does is handle the registration of the property
Hmm.
in the central registration database.
Okay.
So this is to put your name. So Joey and Take, you can have a two-person registration.
Okay.
Joey and Take own this building,
Yep.
which they have taken ownership on April 24th,
Hmm.
2024.
Hmm.
And this building is located here. This building is this big. It's located on this land is this big.
Yep.
And this provides a chain of ownership, which both ensures your right
Okay.
to use this property and offers you a basis to fight anyone else who says that they own it.
Yep.
Someone comes in and says, actually, this is my building. And then you say, I don't see your name on it.
Yep.
I got this paper right here with my name on it.
From the gyosei or shiho shoshi.
Yeah. Say, no, this is my name on it. This is my building.
Okay.
So that's the benefit that he's offering you. Now, in America, you would purchase title insurance to protect yourself.
Yes.
If you're an American looking at the Japanese market, think of this scrivener as a kind of title insurance. He's
Okay.
protecting your asset. He's protecting your ownership.
He's transferring your title, I think,
Yes.
is kind of the way I see it.
Yes. And he's doing so by registering it in the central database managed by the Legal Affairs Bureau.
Okay.
So the amount that he takes is between 5 mon and 10 mon. So we're
Okay.
talking $300 to $600.
Okay.
And that's a flat fee.
Yep.
It doesn't matter how big or it doesn't matter how expensive or how cheap this property is.
Okay.
It's a pretty flat fee.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I should also say that if the property you're purchasing is more complex,
Mm-hmm.
say multiple plots of land or multiple buildings, or there's some other feature that makes it a difficult transaction, he might charge more than the standard amount. But if you're buying one house sitting on one square of land,
Mm-hmm.
then they'll charge you about $300 to $600.
Okay.
Now, also to register your ownership, he has to pay taxes on your behalf,
Mm-hmm.
paying taxes to the central government, in this case, the Legal Affairs Bureau. And this amounts to approximately 2.5% of the tax appraised value of the property.
Okay.
So if it's a cheap property, we've been talking about $10,000, then it might be only $200 in taxes,
Okay.
small amount. For most places, this ends up being a bit more, about 10 to 15 mon in most of the, about $1,000 in most of the transactions that my company deals with.
So 2%, is that what you said?
Yes, 2.5%.
Okay.
This number also changes based on the type of property and the size of property,
Okay.
but 2.5% is a good ballpark.
Okay. Does this change from prefecture or municipality, or is it this kind of a nationwide percent that people can expect?
It is nationwide,
Okay.
but it is subject to many reductions, deductions, certain special cases, which, to be honest, I don't know myself. Like
Okay.
trying to
Black
track
box.
down all these special cases, it would just be better for me to become a scrivener myself.
You should do it, Kendall.
So
We could use
So most real estate agents, they don't bother. It's not worth their time trying to study the tax code to become a tax expert in addition to their current job as a real estate agent, right? Leave the tax stuff to the tax experts. I'll stick with real estate. So most people here, they just say, I'll ask the scrivener and whatever number he gives me, that's the number it's going to be.
Okay. That's how we've been operating.
Yeah.
Kendall, you mentioned before we jumped into the podcast that something about the shape of the parcel of land sometimes complicates things. Is there anything, is that correct? And are there any other things that like can seriously complicate the closing costs?
When I was referring to the shape, I was more talking about whether or not the land is cut into weird
Mm-hmm.
angles. So in Western markets, what I'm used to is lots are usually like centrally planned.
Mm-hmm.
They just draw a bunch of boxes for when they make a new subdivision, they just draw a bunch of boxes and the developer builds on those and you get nice, even squares.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are these things in Japan. The translation is cadastral map, but that's another strange term. So
Yeah.
it's not always a good idea to translate using Google Translate. But
Okay.
what it is a land parcel map,
Okay. Understood.
a map of how the land is cut up in every neighborhood. So if you look at one of these Japanese land parcel maps, in newer parts of the city, they will be squares, rectangles. They'll
Okay.
look very regular and everything will be very simple. Older parts of the city, it looks like a stained glass window.
Okay.
Now, I'm lucky to be in Asahikawa, which is relatively new.
Mm-hmm.
But when I say older parts of the city, I'm specifically referring to like down in Honshu.
Okay.
where land has been changing hands for centuries,
Yeah.
and people have been people have also been cutting their land up to
Yep.
sell it two pieces or one piece, and the result is, like I
Staying.
say, it looks like, yeah, stained glass window.
Got it.
If your property sits on one of these weird plots of land, then you have to register each plot, and you have to find out exactly how big each one is. If they're already registered, you'll already know how big they are.
Hmm.
It just multiplies the work that's being
Yeah.
done by the scrivener.
Got it. So are we at the total cost? So again, just going off the top. So we have commissions from the sale. We
Yep.
have property tax. We have the shiho shoshi or judicial scriveners
Yep.
fees. What other things are we missing, Kendall?
So the other thing that would be included is stamp duty.
Okay.
Now, stamp duty is relatively small,
Hmm.
and in the larger picture of the transaction, it's basically not even worth thinking about,
Okay.
especially on a cheap property. These
Hmm.
things are it's a stepped cost or a stage cost.
Hmm.
The higher the price goes, the
Higher the
when the
cost.
property price goes into a different bracket, it's
Hmm.
charged at a different stamp rate.
Right.
Hmm.
Off the top of my head, I think a $10,000 property would be 500 yen in stamps,
Steep.
which is $3. Like I said, not worth worrying about.
Okay.
On a more normal sized house, 10 million, I believe it goes up to a mon, so that's $67.
Right.
Again, not much.
Okay.
It's basically a rounding error.
Yeah.
If you go really crazy into the millions of dollars,
Hmm.
it can start to be like thousands of dollars in stamp duty.
Yeah.
But again, now you're comparing it to $1 million purchase price.
Totally. Okay. So we got the stamp cost. Anything else? I know there's probably small things here or there, but any like common fees.
Yeah. So again, now we're moving into the details of every single transaction. Based on the details and the parameters of the transaction, these little fees could just spring up,
Okay.
sort of surprise fees. So settlement, if there are fees, if you're buying a condominium or apartment,
Hmm.
building usually has shared fees, and you are responsible for that as the new owner of the unit.
Hmm.
So mostly these are handled monthly, and you just pay for whatever the seller has already paid for,
Okay.
calculated on a prorated day by day basis. So if you're taking ownership for 12 days out of the month, you're going to pay for 12 days.
Okay.
If the owner has already paid for 2 months in advance, then you have to pay for whatever proportion of ownership that you are taking on. And this is the same way that the property tax is calculated.
Okay.
Now, usually this also doesn't add up to very much. Monthly fees are in the area of $200, $300.
Hmm.
So if you're responsible for a month of that, then it's about $300.
Is this the same as HOA fees? I know there's like a building repair cost, or in the US, yeah, we have our HOA fees. Does this include utilities typically, or does this exclude utilities?
Again, that depends completely on the property involved.
Okay.
So these shared ownership buildings have a management association,
Hmm.
and what the management association is covering depends on the management association.
Hmm.
So the big ones are the maintenance fees.
Hmm.
That's to keep the lights on in the hallway, to keep the elevator running, to keep the snow clear if you're in Hokkaido, and all the stuff like that, just related to the general upkeep of the building. And then repair fund, this is a pool that you pay into, and it builds up over time. And then when a large capital expenditure is needed, such as you need to completely replace the elevator because it's getting old,
Hmm.
or you need to you need to replace all of the windows in the building, or you need to redo the roof, it would be a multi-million dollar expenditure, capital expenditure.
Okay.
This repair fund builds up, and then when a big cost like that springs up, they just take it out of the repair fund and they repair the elevator and fix all the walls all at once. So that's
Yeah.
the other big fund. The other thing that management associations charge, some of them charge separately for snow clearing.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them charge a standard rate for providing water and sewage.
Mhm.
Here in Hokkaido, some of them also charge your kerosene. They have a central kerosene system.
Okay.
They have a central tank somewhere downstairs, and it pipes kerosene into every room.
Mm-hmm.
So they meter it at the units, and they charge you based on how much kerosene you used.
Understood.
So all of these may or may not show up at the settlements. It really depends on each individual transaction.
Okay. I think we got a pretty clear picture, Kendall. So again, I just have to keep repeating for myself. We have the agent costs, which would be in this $10,000 situation, what would be
7.
3%. 3%, but then on top of that, there's the taxes, there's the
Yeah.
fees, so about $700 in agent
Yeah.
fee. Stamp fee, I love it, the $3 stamp fee.
Yep.
We'll start with that
Cheap
one.
stamps.
We have the Shiho Shoshi, which is the judicial scrivener. That could be 300 to 500. Let's say 300 for a cheaper one.
Yep.
So we're looking at $1,000 and $1,003. And then what else am I missing?
Registry and licensing, that's the taxes that the scrivener pays to register the property.
Okay, how much was that
So,
again?
For a cheap place, only $10,000, probably only $200.
Okay.
So I think we're still up to $1,200 now.
Okay, we're at $1,200 and
then-
$1,203.
And then any settlement money that the seller has already paid for, you need to settle
Okay.
the imbalance in what the seller
Yeah.
has paid for.
Okay.
So again, if it's a cheap place, we're not looking at very much. Add another $200.
Okay. That seems pretty reasonable. You know, so
1,400.
1,400, 14%.
Yeah, so like 12%. Does that number, would you expect that number to, like the percent as a percent of the purchase price, remain stable if you go and look at a $70,000 property as opposed to a $10,000 property?
The percentage is a much better number to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, all of this stuff fluctuates, especially with the tax appraisal.
Okay.
It's really hard to tell just by looking at a listing how much each of these fees are going to be. So a good ballpark is 10%. Even if you're looking at a $70,000 property, just think, okay, 10%, $77,000,
Yeah.
1,000 and all these fees.
This doesn't include for us, I guess, one of the differentiators. We used a intermediary. We did this all remotely. So we paid a fee to NTI, Nippon Tradings International, who helped us facilitate. So that's excluding this. And I think that would more or less change this closing percentage, Kendall. If someone's listening and they're sold, which I'm sold on this Asahikawa kind of a getaway cabin, could they go to you and buy directly? And is there an intermediary fee for translation work or stuff like that that you could foresee?
As of this moment, I'm not charging any intermediary fee. I'm
This is
not
gonna-
charging anything extra for the work that I do.
Okay.
Now, I can't say that I'm doing this out of the kindness of my heart.
Okay. All right. Understood.
As I said before, 3% plus 6 mon is an industry standard.
Okay.
If a brokerage tries to charge more than that, now
Mm.
they're in violation of the Real Estate Brokerage Act, which
Got
is
it.
a big problem for a brokerage like us. Like doing anything to put our license in jeopardy is an idiot move.
Okay. Don't do it. Don't do
Yeah.
anything jeopardizes. Kendall, we're not asking you to do anything shady here.
So that's why charging for extra services is a
Mhm.
bit of a gray area.
Yeah.
If this were a Japanese client and you said, "Oh, I'm doing these extra services for you, so I'm going to charge you a bit more,"
Mhm.
that would be illegal.
Okay.
We're not supposed to charge our clients anything more than
Yeah.
the standard commission.
Okay. What would,
Now, for intermediaries,
yeah.
they do get around that by not being a brokerage themselves.
Understood.
Since they're not a brokerage, they're a business providing some other fee.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, let's just say translation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're a company that provides translation services and they are billing for translation services. As a real estate brokerage, we are charging a commission.
Yep.
And anything on top of that would be highly suspicious.
Okay. Do you do property management? Like, how much would that cost if, let's say, someone listening to this buys this place for 10,000, they understand the costs. How much do you typically charge just to shovel that snow or make sure the apartment's alive when they come once a season?
Our company does not do property management.
Okay.
As time goes on, we may look at getting into it, but
Mhm.
as of now, we do not. For a shared building, most of the property management duties are handled by the management association. So,
Oh,
like I said before, making sure the elevators work, making sure the snow stays out,
mhm.
like those fees are what cover all those standard things.
Okay.
And then on top of that, if you wanted to live most of your year somewhere else
Mhm.
and you wanted someone to take care of sure that the electricity is on when I want it to be, make sure the water is still running, make sure the house is warm when I get there, like that
Mhm.
kind of property management, you would have to find somebody else.
Okay.
The management association handles the building and the shared space.
Okay.
If you want to keep utilities on in
Mhm.
your unit and
Mhm.
keep your unit clean and in a livable condition,
Yep.
then you would have to find a property management to do that for your unit.
Okay. Kendall, we
Now,
have a final question for you. Sorry, we got to run in a second here.
yeah,
Sorry to cut you off there. People are wondering this. Can we Airbnb this property in Asahikawa, this condo?
shared building, the short answer is no.
Got it. Okay.
The Now Airbnb is a touchy subject in
Mhm.
many markets around the world.
Mhm.
A lot of people blaming it for driving up costs, ruining neighborhoods. It is a bit of a war zone in certain
We're
places.
we're setting up one in that food, but we're rejuvenating the community, and I think that's our perspective.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
and yeah, I'm not going to say how I feel personally about it, but
mhm.
in many markets around the world, it is a touchy subject.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to shared buildings,
Mhm.
technically, it's up to the management association. And
Okay.
even more technically, it's up to every owner in the building whether or not to allow short-term
Mhm.
rentals, VRBOs, Airbnbs.
Yeah. Um,
Now, when it comes to these owners, these domestic owners, the vast majority of them are opposed. They do not want this in their building. You'll see it's usually listed in the management association protocols or rules for the building. It's usually explicitly listed. You cannot use your unit for short-term rentals. You cannot use a unit as an apartment. You can't use your unit as this. It's spelled out very clearly
mhm.
in those management rules. And then in addition to that, some of these places even like hand out flyers every so often saying, "Don't do it.
Okay. Alright, so
Don't
Airbnb
VRBO."
is the short answer here. Kendall, we'll link the listing hopefully in the show notes. Hopefully we can find an Akia Mart. We'll check there. But Kendall, it's been great talking to you. Do you mind giving us one outro? Like, how can people reach you? How do you want people to contact you?
Yeah. So my name again is Kendall Bharath, but of course you can call me Kendall.
Cool.
And I'm located here in Asahikawa, which is in North Hokkaido. Now, I can handle properties anywhere in Hokkaido, but my expertise, all of my experience is in this region of North Hokkaido. So when it comes to the most value that I can provide for you, it's
Mhm.
right here in North Hokkaido. Now, our company is called REMAX Kyoei, which is part of the regional REMAX Hokkaido. So yeah, if you just remember Kendall, you'll find me eventually.
Okay.
But my company is called REMAX Kyoei, and I also am partnered with REMAX Hokkaido.
Cool. We'll put your information in the show notes. And if anyone has trouble finding Kendall, we're happy to make an introduction. Kendall, I have a good feeling someone's going to buy this apartment. I'm thinking about it. $10,000, closing costs 14%. Got to figure out the property management side, but not too far from good ski and snow.
Yeah, I think I've been pretty honest about the prospects of the property, but of course, if someone's interested, if this is someone's dream
It's not,
to reside in Japan
yeah.
for the ski season, pretty popular demand for incoming tourists. So yeah,
Cool.
I'll definitely help you out.
Awesome, Kendall. Hey, we got to jump now. Thank you so much for being our second guest here. We'll have you on again. This was really valuable and good to hear just from someone in the space. All right.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Kendall.
So one thing that I left out is called the real estate acquisition tax. In some other markets, it's called the land transfer tax. But what this is a tax paid by the person who takes new ownership of a property. And it's paid after the actual settlement. So you take ownership, and then sometime after, you pay this acquisition tax. Now, the amount of time after really does vary a lot. It's between 3 and 6 months. So even 3 months is kind of a long ways away, but also half a year it could take for this tax slip to be sent to you. Now, the amount is 3 to 4% of the appraised value. But as we've mentioned many times before, it's very hard to get an actual number on this because of the deductions. Also, it's calculated based on the size, the total appraised value, the use, and it's also calculated by the regional government body. So it can vary from place to place depending on where you are. Most real estate agents don't get involved in this. They just tell their clients, you'll get this tax slip in the mail sometime after now, maybe 3 months, maybe 4 months. You'll get this tax slip, so it's your responsibility to go ahead and pay it. I can refer them to a formula, a standard calculation formula, but as far as our job goes, handling the transaction, we usually don't get involved in the calculation of the specific number. Now, for a $10,000 apartment, 300, 400, that's a safe amount to estimate. For, let's say, a bigger $70,000, $100,000 property, it could be a few $1,000s, maybe $2,000 or so. So it is a large amount of money, and you should be ready for it. If you're not ready, it could be quite a surprise to get that in the mail. If you're not planning on living here full time, it is something that I would help my clients set up just so that they're prepared for that tax flip to come.